13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
We are off to a nice and dry start to what will be one more mainly dry day today. I'll have the details on our rainy pattern ahead that's coming up.
Been knowing him since he was a child. He all-around good guy.
A plane crash in Dodge striking a personal note with the county sheriff, how he's remembering the victim and why this crash wasn't an unfamiliar sight.
Plus, all green lights for a truck stop in Macon. The latest on what planning and zoning has given the go-ahead to.
The Bibb County School District is hosting a hiring blitz on Wednesday. In just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you what positions they're looking to fill.
Well, good morning, everyone. You are looking live over a great start to the day in downtown Macon. It is 6:31 on this Tuesday, September 14th. I'm Caitlin Heck.
And I'm Wanya Reese. It's amazing to take that live look because it's still pitch black out there right now.
I know, but at least it looks nice because I feel like the rest of the week that might change a bit, Courtney.
Might be a little rain on that lens.
You know, the night sky that is still here, sun rises at 7:19, so it's after the show ends now.
Wow.
This is kind of hiding some of the cloud cover that will be on the way this week. Unfortunately, we won't see quite as much sunshine today. We still will see sunshine, but not quite as much as we did to kick off the work week and especially through the weekend. 66 right now in the city of Macon. You're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Dew point in the mid-60s, so that humidity starting to creep up just a little bit this morning, especially if you're along 75 and in counties west of 75. 67 in Montezuma and in Forsyth. We're at 68 in Warner Robins. A little bit cooler in some of our eastern counties this morning. 62 in Sandersville and 64 in the city of Dublin. When it comes to the dew points, those are starting to creep back up. The closer you get to 70, the more uncomfortable it feels. So places like Warner Robins, definitely a little more muggy out there this morning, but some of us still fairly comfortable. Dew points in the low 60s. Quiet out there, just some extra cloud cover, but this is definitely going to change as we head through the next few days. I'll talk about our rainy pattern on the way. That's in a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. Right now, investigators are still trying to piece together what led to a plane crash in Dodge County that killed a 30-year-old pilot.
The case hits close to home for Sheriff Brian Robinson, who says he knew Jake Boney personally.
Been knowing him since he was a child. He all-around good guy. Everybody, he had way more friends than I probably would ever have, but he was just that type of person that, I mean, he was charismatic. I mean, everybody loved to be around him.
Boney went down Sunday night near a sunflower field off of Highway 280, according to Sheriff Robinson. When deputies got on scene, they found the plane toward the back of the field near the tree lining. He says a friend of Boney was watching the pilot from the ground and was there to identify him. The sheriff says this isn't the first time the 30-year-old has crashed.
You know, they just went through this last year about this time. He had a crash and he survived it. And we reliving this, or the family's reliving this, and they're devastated.
Now, that crash happened in Hawkinsville on September 3rd of last year.
Yeah, and definitely sending prayers to his family and friends. Sheriff Robinson says his office is cooperating with the FAA on their investigation. One man now faces 2 counts of murder and a burglary charge in connection to a double homicide in Twiggs County. Last night, Sheriff Darren Mitchum confirmed that Charles Rowland was in custody in connection with the double homicide. The news came hours after investigators released surveillance footage right here that you're seeing. Sheriff Mitchum confirmed they believe Rowland is the man in that video taken Saturday morning from the back porch of Fred and Peggy White's home.
Later that morning, deputies got a call from the couple's daughter saying someone burglarized her parents' home. The couple was later found dead on a property just down the road. Sheriff Mitchum says they believe the couple was targeted and that the killings were not random. Turning now to the latest in COVID-19 news, let's catch you up on 3 vaccine-related headlines.
Advisors to the FDA will weigh evidence about an extra Pfizer shot Friday. This comes as the White House has begun planning for boosters later this month. If both the FDA and CDC agree, last month we told you about the plan which included Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. The U.S. already offers an extra dose of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to some people with severely weakened immune systems. Delta Airlines now has at least 79% of its workforce vaccinated against COVID-19. The company says this is up 5% since it announced a health care surcharge starting in November. That means unvaccinated employees must pay more monthly on the company health plan. There's also a vaccine requirement for new employees that started back in May.
And if you want to get a shot, you have a chance in Baldwin County tomorrow. It's part of the Community Organized Relief Effort, or CORE. Vaccines are available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 237 Harrisburg Road in southwest Milledgeville. Health workers will give out the Pfizer vaccine and the Johnson & Johnson shot, and walk-ups are welcome. Well, is it worth spending nearly $2 million for a gunshot detection system? That topic's on the table for Bibb County leaders today. The new technology is called ShotSpotter. It pinpoints the number of shots and location where the gun was used and then alerts dispatch. Mayor Lester Miller told us back in July that based on data from other cities, the new tech could cut down on gunfire by 30 to 40% and increase the number of cases solved. The sheriff and mayor say the new technology pairs with resources they already have, like surveillance cameras and a database that matches bullets used in earlier crimes. Commissioners meet this morning at 9.
All roads lead to a truck stop coming to Sardis Church Road. The Macon Bibb Planning and Zoning Commission cleared the stop for construction. That's according to Liz Fabian, one of our partners at Mercer Center for Collaborative Journalism. We previously told you about people sharing concerns about the proposed truck stop, citing a truck stop across the street, as well as environmental and noise impacts. But no one spoke against the project's final approval yesterday, though. Based on the application, the project's set to be an over 27,000 square foot travel center and truck service center. Yesterday, we told you about two other items on the agenda: plans for a gym and health club on Riverside Drive and a church on Pioneer Avenue. Planning and Zoning approved both of those as well. All right, let's turn to the latest on tropical weather. We're taking a closer look at Texas this morning as another storm is now impacting the country.
The National Hurricane Center in Miami says Nicholas made landfall along the Texas coast as a hurricane, and it threatens to bring up to 20 inches of rain to parts of the Gulf Coast. You are looking live over Lake Charles in Louisiana. You can see that rain there. It's already getting some heavy winds as well. The Hurricane Center says the storm touched down on the eastern part of the Matagorda Peninsula, which is about 100 miles south of Houston. And again, this is Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is near the Gulf, and they could see impacts from this storm.
All right, now let's take a look at some earlier scenes out of Freeport, Texas, between Galveston and Corpus Christi. You can see an underpass just filling up with water, and you could just see the strong winds and heavy rain just pushing that water. And Caitlin, we were talking about it earlier. The major concern is that parts of Louisiana that already got all of this rain, they're going to get even more rain with Nicholas.
And just as they finally started to be able to do the cleanup efforts, and you can see some of the damage the storm's winds and rain have already caused. This is from Brazoria, about 20 minutes west of Freeport. A large tree crashed down on a trailer and an RV, and thankfully no one got hurt. Now, the time is now 6:37, and you were saying, I mean, they're expecting up to 10 inches of rain in some parts of the Gulf.
Right, yeah. So that, of course, is a flooding threat, but you also have the flash flooding threat, which are those quick floods that can, you know, pick up cars, and also the storm surge threat. So water is very, very dangerous.
It's scary. And you know, you were talking about, it just seems like this storm is going to kind of linger. You know, it's going to, I don't know if it's going to stall, but it's going to stay over them for a while.
Right, absolutely. And we talk about all the time that you want storms to move quicker, because the quicker they move, the less time they stay over water. And then, of course, the less opportunity they have to continue to drop water on places. And we'll cover everything on Nicholas that you need to know and what impact it could have on our forecast. It's going to be indirect, but it'll still be some sort of impact. For today, we're going to talk about some good news first. This dog is ready for vacation. I mean, look at him. Ruger. Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't look so happy about that.
This just brightens up my morning. So we're going to start with this to make everyone happy. Maybe an isolated storm today, but for the most part, we're going to be dry, but that is going to change. So that tropical shirt, it's gonna feel pretty tropical. I guess that's fitting. All right, everyone, and the reason it is going to start to feel tropical is because our area of high pressure that has been giving us those nice and cool mornings, the really nice sunny and warm afternoons, is going to continue to weaken. So I put these arrows around it to show you where this area of high pressure is currently dominating, and that is a good portion of the southeast, including here in central Georgia. Now, the good thing about this area of high pressure is it did help steer Nicholas away from us, and that's been a theme with this ridge lately. If we call a high pressure center also a ridge of high pressure, that saved us from quite a few storms. Now, it's also helping to steer Nicholas, but as this weakens, that's going to do two things. It's going to weaken the steering current of Nicholas and also weaken its influence over our area. So that dome of high pressure that is essentially giving us a force field and protecting us from any rain and humidity is going to go away. So that means our humidity will start to go up. Let's talk about where Tropical Storm Nicholas is going to go. So this is what Wanye was talking about. It's going to linger along the coast. This is Thursday at 1 in the morning. That's over 48 hours of just dropping heavy tropical downpours along the coast. So of course that's going to lead to a flooding threat along the Texas and Louisiana coast. Could pick up over 10 inches of rain. You can see the little legend on the top of your screen here. When you get into those yellow colors, that's over 10 inches of rain, maybe even a foot of rain along parts of the Louisiana coast, which of course just got over dealing with Ida. They're still recovering there, and that's not going to help with that. So I know we're going to unfortunately see more bad news out of the Gulf Coast as this storm starts to drop a lot of rain on it. Now, while they're going to deal with a flooding threat, we're going to simply get all that tropical moisture pumped into the southeast from that storm. Without that area of high pressure protecting us anymore, it's going to increase our coverage of rain as that tropical moisture starts to reintroduce itself into our atmosphere. So today, maybe a stray shower from the outermost bands of the storm. That's all we're going to receive today. As the storm continues to push off to the east, it's going to get caught up in our upper levels of the atmosphere. Not a very strong steering current, so that's what's going to prevent it from moving very fast. Most of the heavy rain, of course, will stay out to our west for the day today. That is going to change as we head into tomorrow. So needless to say, you are not going to want to walk out of the house without your umbrella or your raincoat as we head through the next several days. So Wednesday, we have a 60% coverage of rain. Same for Thursday. The weekend is going to stay rainy as well. Most of the rain will be for the afternoon hours, and we could have some heavier downpours as well, as our atmosphere will feel very tropical with all that tropical moisture in play. We'll have that potential for heavier tropical downpours. When it comes to how much rain we could see, anywhere between 1 to upwards of 3. This is the latest run from the GFS, saying maybe close to 3.5 inches of rain in some spots, and the Euro is in pretty good agreement with that as well. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. We're going to be mainly dry today, but then our coverage of rain increases through the rest of the 7 days, so have that umbrella with you, but it will keep temperatures in the low to mid 80s.